Thailand.
This video series is about a 2,600 kilometer journey on tiny motorcycles.
It's you on video. Hello everyone.
As a group, we started in Kuala Lumpur and bought our own bikes, prepping them for the journey ahead. Join us as we spend nearly 2 weeks in the saddle. First, riding out for the Malaysian highlands, where we took on the nation's highest road.
Yeah, oh, there's a ute coming, be careful.
Before heading over the border into southern Thailand. The largest capacity engine on this journey is 125cc, and we stayed in 8 different locations along the way. Anyway, this intro is long enough already. Let's kick into it. On the bikes, and it was finally time for some off-road adventure. Well, almost. First stop of the day would see us visit Wat Jetty Ai Kai. We had a big, possibly difficult day ahead, so any extra piece of good luck seemed like a good idea to me.
Sawasdeeครับเอานี่นะโอเคครับ ครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
อันนี้เท่าไหร่ครับ
40 ค่ะ
ครับ40 ค
ข
รั
อบบ คุณค่ะ
ครับ 40 baht for 2 cocks. It's pretty good.
Good, yeah.
It's not my bike. Looks the same.
This is a temple dedicated to, well, lots of things, but the long story short is that lots of people leave small and large chicken statues here as offerings. Offerings given and blessings received, we mounted our steeds and rode off for what would be the most difficult but most enjoyable day of riding on the whole adventure. Soon we'd be crossing the Thai Rom Yen National Park to the other side of the country. But to be honest, our morning detour to Wat Jetty Ai Kai actually meant we were heading to the national park from a road slightly further north than I had expected. This also meant we'd pass by the last village before the national park, which I had intended to be our main fuel stop before the mountains. Thankfully, in rural Thailand, these roadside payable pumps are fairly common, and after riding past a few empty ones, we found this pump with fuel in it.
This is a rigmarole to do, eh?
Alright, tanks full and maps set, it was time to attack these mountains. The first sign of change was the loss of cell phone reception. Then next was a couple of minor water crossings.
Yeah, I'm good. Filming. Just be real straight and careful. One at a time. Yep. How cool.
We found the road surface to be dust, gravel, or a mix of both.
Bit of a drop. This is the rest of the trip. Supposedly we've got a left turn in 7.7 k's. It's nice though, our bike gets a wash every like 2 k's.
We crossed the same river a few more times, one of which was thanks to a pretty substantial bridge which had washed off its entire foundations. This road seemed to have been well used at one point, and sometime in recent years I guess, the bridges had washed away, meaning the road was relegated to use by mainly keen locals.
Sure.
Why did you stop?
Big rock.
Alright, okay.
Oh, wait here. Yeah, my boots are wet too. Look at your legs.
Yeah. Let's see. Mine got fishing tail.
You're right there, Zach.
Let's throw away that.
Have we got a photo of this?
No, I haven't got a photo. I'm just videoing right now.
Not long after the last river crossing, we actually found some concrete. Before a left turn saw that immediately change back into dirt and dust. This particular road had more traffic than the previous one. And eventually we came across a small shop, so we wisely stopped for some refreshments. It was at this small shop in the middle of nowhere that the only drop of a motorcycle would happen. Nice one, Chris. 10 points.
Your bike a bit tired.
Now we were finally inside the national park, and the further we got into it, the less used this road became. We were quite lucky there had been no heavy rain, or the surface would become impassable in some places. Most of the bikes were handling it well, but Moraes wasn't geared low enough, and he would have to walk on some of the steeper hills, and Waikiet's smaller diameter monkey wheels meant he was feeling the copious amounts of undulations a lot harder than those of us with 17-inch wheels. Even with some tiny hiccups, we were having an absolute blast. This is the coolest ride of the trip by far, and the funny thing is, these roads are not hard to find in Thailand. Head to a rural area, look for a mountain, find a road heading into it, and you'll likely end up on roads just like this one.
Hi everyone.
By this point, we were deep in what some would describe as the middle of nowhere. But I mean, you can see it, there are people living out here, and for them, this is home. And honestly, I find a huge amount of beauty in the life that people lead in rural areas like this. Riding through these rutted roads and past these humble abodes, I can't help but think of the way some people experience this incredibly diverse country.
Local coming again on a bike with a cool hat. Oh yeah, there is an intersection. We just follow the road around, don't go straight.
Oh, here's the moment we started to leave the national park and some Thai uncle insisted we were heading the wrong way.
Yep. ไปตรงนี้นะไปคลาบี้นะสวัสดีครับลุงไปตรงนี้นะนี่มาจากไหนกันไปเอานังคลาบี้นะไปตรงนี้นะ
Eventually, I just had to ride off. I mean, I speak basic Thai and I tried to explain where we were heading. I even showed him on a map. but Uncle couldn't fathom the direction we were heading, and even as I rode off, he was insisting that we were heading the wrong way. I later found out we had exited the main entrance of the national park, so Uncle likely thought he had seen some foreigners backtracking after taking a wrong turn on entry.
I don't know, I tend not to like listen to a random dude in the middle of the bush. It's like, hey, go the same way as me. Holy shit, stay left, stay left, stay left, stay left, don't stay left. Oh my god.
Anyway, the road started to come back, and we were out. After a quick stop for lunch, of course not filmed, we got on the bikes for our last push of the day.
To the rubber, so they put a score in the tree and score it down to the bucket, and it fills up those little buckets with sap, and then they collect the sap. It's like a little rubber puck, and then they go and melt that down and process it into actual big rubber. Chris's bike, suitably dirty but still going. Chris's jacket is no longer white. Andrew's bike's doing well. His shocks, the one on the right, let all the shock fluid out. Legenda 115 fuel injected did well, but didn't have enough gearing to pull up the steepest hills. Never had that problem with a Wave Alpha, mate.
Nah, it's the best bike yet.
Monkey, unfortunately, was being adventurous. Yeah, it's touching now, but it's all good. Wave 125 is a bike. Oh well, at least I spotted it. It's better than something bad happening later. See, that was just floating around. That's all good though. Axle hasn't moved, and your chain's not off centre. We just need to tighten this. So yeah, just do those up as tight as you can. Yeah, those are loose too. Cool. Hold on to that and zip it up. All good, guys.
The end destination was Ao Nung Beach in Krabi, easily the most tourist-laden destination of the trip. We had a full day scheduled there off the bikes, which meant a 2-night stay. I specifically chose this location so the guys could get an idea of what a majority of tourists experience Thailand to be, plus we could do some touristy things ourselves. We finally arrived. After checking in, a few of us went to wash our bikes, removing the grime from our awesome day in the hills. From there, it was time to explore, eat food, and eventually get some washing done. I'd ended up booking a long-tail tour for the next morning, and at this location everyone had their own rooms for the night, so at this point we just did our own thing and waited for the next day. Tour. Yeah, right. Bum 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 bum. If you've been to Krabi, then you've probably been offered this tour. 4 islands on a long-tail boat, and they were all fairly close to the mainland, so there wasn't endless time travelling on the water. Heading down to the beach, we had a boat number to look out for, and eventually jumped on to begin the adventure. We settled in for the tour, and got to see some awesome sights. can I have a history lesson about this beach?
No.
It's meant to make things up.
This beach was created 5,000 years ago when the dinosaurs roamed Earth.
There you go.
Nice.
Do you know dinosaurs were here 5,000 years ago?
Apparently.
Yeah. And this was the second time I've been offered to pilot a longtail boat. Of course, I said yes. So fucking heavy. It starts going the wrong way. It's like, And with that, it was our last stop of the day, which we all tried swimming at, but coming from New Zealand, we can be total beach snobs. Only 2 of us made it all the way in, battling rocks in what felt like coral, only to get a lukewarm, diesel-infused saltwater bath before giving up and heading back to shore. It's as big as your smile. We'd finished early. It was around lunchtime and everyone had half a day to do whatever they pleased. We met again for a drink later that evening before all deciding to have an early night. Tomorrow was going to be our longest day on the bikes. Sadly, we'd be leaving Thailand, but thankfully our end destination was Penang, Malaysia. Whilst it would be a huge ride at over 500 kilometers, Penang would also be having us for 2 nights, meaning another full day free for the crew to do whatever they choose.